Most of these characters are black. Please, you're gonna tell me Sesame Street is not in the hood? Looking just like the set of Everybody Hates Chris. Y'all are not fooling me. First, we have Big Bird with the curly high top fade. He remind me of one of those big and tall boys that never wanted to play ball because they got bad knees. A little something like this, and no, I'm not saying he looks like Big Bird. Next up is Cookie Monster. I can't go into too much detail about Cookie Monster, but just think about your friendly neighborhood cookie plug. Oscar the Grouch, black. He reminds me of that dude you always see at the gas station. You know they not homeless, they just stay at the gas station. He's low-key grouchy, but everybody talks to him because he stay at the gas station. Kermit the Frog, black. This man was born in the swamps of Louisiana. Look it up. If you couldn't tell from the facial expressions he makes, you could really tell by the way he can't stay away from his ex. One thing about Kermit, he do not play about Miss Piggy. Speaking of Miss Piggy, this is a light-skinned black woman. Please, I know you see that 13x6 blonde bust down lace front and them 25-meter lashes. They that one couple we all know that's horrible for each other but can't stay away. Elmo, black. Aside from the fact that Elmo will say anything to anybody, he also has real-life beef with a rock.
Guess Rocco will never be able to float.
Oh well, too bad. Bye, Rocco.
You're moving forward. Doors are opening. Every step you take, God is doing something. You cannot be denied. Remember, when God is with you and on your side, you are unstoppable.
I set you free. I told you to always count on me, darling. And from that day on, I made a vow. I'll be there when you want me. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough. So keeping me from getting to you, baby.
Most of these characters are black. Please, you're gonna tell me Sesame Street is not in the hood? Looking just like the set of Everybody Hates Chris. Y'all are not fooling me. First, we have Big Bird with the curly high top fade. He remind me of one of those big and tall boys that never wanted to play ball because they got bad knees. A little something like this, and no, I'm not saying he looks like Big Bird. Next up is Cookie Monster. I can't go into too much detail about Cookie Monster, but just think about your friendly neighborhood cookie plug. Oscar the Grouch, black. He reminds me of that dude you always see at the gas station. You know they not homeless, they just stay at the gas station. He's low-key grouchy, but everybody talks to him because he stay at the gas station. Kermit the Frog, black. This man was born in the swamps of Louisiana. Look it up. If you couldn't tell from the facial expressions he makes, you could really tell by the way he can't stay away from his ex. One thing about Kermit, he do not play about Miss Piggy. Speaking of Miss Piggy, this is a light-skinned black woman. Please, I know you see that 13x6 blonde bust down lace front and them 25-meter lashes. They that one couple we all know that's horrible for each other but can't stay away. Elmo, black. Aside from the fact that Elmo will say anything to anybody, he also has real-life beef with a rock.
Guess Rocco will never be able to float.
Oh well, too bad. Bye, Rocco.
You're moving forward. Doors are opening. Every step you take, God is doing something. You cannot be denied. Remember, when God is with you and on your side, you are unstoppable.
You don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough. So keeping me from getting to you, baby. The day I set you free, I told you to always count on me, darling. And from that day on, I made a vow. I'll be
Everybody that was around me, man, is like, why are you doing Christian rap? Don't you want to blow up? You're gonna limit yourself. What do you mean I'm gonna limit myself? Jesus is the most famous person
Talk about it.
on earth.
Yeah.
Our calendar is based off of his birth. If the devil could take Jay-Z or whoever to the top of anything, God could do exceedingly abundantly above that. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Did you know that Georgia has a sliding rock? It's located at Tallulah Gorge, and permits are required to do this trail. The permits are free to the first 100 people each day, and they have to take a safety class before you start. The trail is 2 miles round trip, and you'll cross the swinging bridge and take a lot of stairs leading down to Hurricane Falls. From here, you'll go through the gate on the platform and start to cross the water. This was the toughest part of the whole hike, so prepare to get wet up to your waist. From there, the trail is right across the river, and it's more of a rock scramble than anything. Keep following the river, and you'll come up to this first waterfall. From here, it's only a short distance until you reach the sliding rock. We saw people going down when we got there, and I was so excited to give it a try. I ended up going down 5 times. The way back is all uphill and extremely steep, so the workout won't be over yet. Happy hiking!
This text saved my son's life. My oldest son, Champion, was diagnosed with autism, ADD, ADHD. Doctor said he would never be able to function, go to school. I looked at the doctor. I said, thank you for your opinion. I respect your opinion. But in this moment, faith is not an option. I face the facts, but I'm standing on faith. Because facts speak to the present condition of something, but truth speaks to the ultimate condition of something. I didn't just speak it. I looked at my son and I said, I'm pulling you out of this program. You will not go to this facility anymore. He was only 4 years old. I took him home. I told my whole house we fasted for 21 days, not just from food, but also from electronics. We can't allow the enemy to get no room into our house. I looked at my son, I said, we're gonna fast. I'm gonna pray with you every day. We're gonna meditate on this scripture every day. After that 21-day fast, he has been in the honor roll old school. He's the team captain on his football team, and God is doing more than what I expected. This message is to help you get your faith back. Domesticated faith is when you no longer living by faith, but you playing it safe.
I used to look up to myself more than anyone, and I feel like that's how most people are. But some of us look up to a celebrity, an athlete, a family member, or even a fictional character. But when we are alone in our own abyss, most people aren't around, who do we look up to then? Well, for me, that person is Jesus Christ. Now, I know some of you are hoping that I don't sit up here and start preaching, and trust me, I'm not. I just want to share why Jesus is my role model. A lot of us spend our time doing schoolwork, playing a sport, working out, eating, sleeping, hanging with friends and family, and etc. But what about the times when those people aren't around and it's just us and ourselves? What do we do then? Well, unfortunately, some of us drink alcohol, smoke weed, eat and drink candy that slowly kills us, self-pleasure, indulge in pornography, binge TV shows until sunrise, or scroll online endlessly until we fall asleep. And but why do we do these things? Why do we consume our free time with meaningless activities that only provide temporary relief and seek to destroy us? Well, I just told you why. It's because some of us are lonely, some of us are dealing with pain, some of us are running from our past, and so we will do anything that provides even a second of temporary relief, or even if it means slowly scratching away at our lifespan. But what if I told you there was a way out? What if I told you that you never have to feel lonely again? What if I told you there was someone that could take away all your pain and all your addictions? Well, that person is Jesus Christ. You see, God saved me. I no longer feel lonely. I no longer feel lost. And I no longer feel hunted by all the demons that had a stronghold over me in my life. That's why I look up to God. And you see, if God can save me, who's a liar, adulterer, thief, hypocrite, fornicator, and much more, then why can't you be saved too? And that being said, I'm not here to, convert anyone or to force anyone to put their faith in Jesus Christ. But just know that I love each and every single one of y'all, even if I don't know you personally. And all I ask is that you just try to pray to God that He would reveal Himself to you and set you free, even if it means you pray once. And if He doesn't answer, then you can throw me in a den of lions. But before you do that, make sure to open your eyes, open your heart, open your ears, so that you may hear His voice. And that's why He's my role model.
Some of us get into little paths of our walk with Christ, right? And you start to question a lot of things, and things start not to make sense, and you are questioning who God is. I'm talking about that path. So it brings us to the question is, does the devil lie or does he imply? So bad, y'all. It's so bad. Because in Genesis, when he came up to Eve and he said, oh, so you can't eat from this tree? I mean, no, we can eat from every tree in the garden besides this one right here. Because we will surely die. Oh, you won't die, the serpent says. God knows you will become just like him, knowing things of good and evil. He lied, then implied. But people may not even think that he lied because he said you will not surely die, because they weren't going to die that minute, but they were going to eventually die. But when he said God knows that you will become just like him, knowing that of good and evil, it made her think. And you're wondering why in the heck would Eve and Adam sin against God when they had everything? But when the devil said that, she said, wait a second, there's more? And not only is there more, God is withholding it from me. God, I know, wait a second. You are a selfish God. And not only that, I cannot trust you, God. You are not what you said you are. You are not good. Eve, I felt. That's what I had when I went through the book of Job. And I said, God, you wanted to do this to show your supreme power? You put Job through this to show your supreme power that you can do whatever you want at the tips of your fingers, at the tips of your hand. And God said, Leah, go back to the first chapter. It was never about my supreme power. It was about proving the devil wrong, to know that I have faithful servants backing behind me. I said, God, because of what I read, I implied that he was not who he said he was. And that's why now I have firm faith in exactly what he said he is. Because if you think, oh, You know more than him. You are saying that the creator that created you, who gave you wisdom and understanding, you put your wisdom and understanding that he gave you higher than his, which cannot be. But back to the devil implying. We tend to question who God is based off what we think about God instead of what God has already said. And so if God in his word said that he is good and that he has unfailing love for us and that he wants blessings and overflow for us. And so when the devil tries to tell you that God don't want to look at you, you done did some stuff and he will never forgive you. But the Bible declares that his grace is sufficient and his power is made perfect in my weakness. And so that God gets glory and power from me in my weak moments. That's whatever you may be weak in. Talking about some girl, you done stumbled, you can't get back up. I'm sorry, but the Bible declares the righteous may stumble but they won't fall because the Lord is holding their hand. I'm sorry, devil. What you're talking about is contradicting what the Bible already says. I believe in firm Bible. That's why it's so crucial to get into our word. It's so crucial to know the Bible, because if you do not, what he's telling you in this year, you can't even spew out nothing about what the word says because you just don't know. You have to know to be able to combat what he's saying and say, get thee behind me, Satan. You have no reign here. You have no dominion. I know what my God said, and you can't imply nor lie to me because I stand firm in what he said, period.
Y'all run into the club, we run into the church.
Where does that come from? I just told you, anxiety. But where does anxiety come from fundamentally? First, young and out. Boss. Just go with the premise. There are two primary emotions, fear and love. Everything spills from those two core feelings. So, anxiety. Fear. Right. So what are you afraid of? A lot of things. Yes, but what are you afraid of? I don't know. I'm unlovable. Go further. Unlovable in what way? That's easy. I'm not enough. Enough easy answers. What's the hard one? That I'm too much. Yes? That I was too much for my mother. Too perceptive. Too inquisitive. Too capable. These are the exact qualities a mother should celebrate in a child. This is it, Brooke. You recognize that, right? You are pure gold. You glow. And unfortunately, that blessed fact never got you the love you wanted from her. The mirror you held up to her was blinding. And every drink you take tarnishes that brilliance. Every day you spend with a man you have doubts about dampens your power. You think that by lowering yourself, you become more lovable.
Nah, this is so crazy.
So listen close, cause I'ma say it slow. The devil's watching every move you make in every single place you go. I used to think that I was all alone until I felt him breathing down my neck while I was sleeping right inside my home. I tried to wake up, but the devil had me in the hole. I tried to move, he paralyzed my skeleton and all my bones. And that's when I called God, and then I shouted out amen. And I could put that on the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and the Ghost. That I will not fold, that I will never crack, never sell my soul. 6'2", standing on my faith, I feel ninefold. Walking on this path, I could do it with a blindfold. Devil tried to play me for my faith like a console. Hell no, stay down, 10 toes, hands up, case closed. They know to stand strong as the rain post, to wait till the gates close and pray as the pain goes.
You see that big blur down at the bottom of the screen? That's me. And you hear this? That's my wife and the people behind me in the line that thought I was about to die. When I told my followers I was going to El Salvador, y'all got in my comments and y'all told me, Terrence, you gotta go to Picnic Steakhouse and take the slide. When I tell you the scenery is so beautiful, but when you get up to that slide, the first thing you see is this is steep. This slide is so goddamn steep, I was scared out of my mind. Now, I am a manly man. I am a manly man. But when I got up to that goddamn slide, I was not a man no more. I was a boy, and a scared boy. Want to know how you can tell? Look at the look of my face. That is a look of terror, of fear. That's the look of when you're in elementary school and your teacher tells you in the first hour of class, Terrence, I called your mama. I told her you was in here acting up. She said she gonna take care of you when you get home. You think your mama forgot about it? She waiting till your ass get in the shower and she swings that shower curtain open. But like the man that I am, I went ahead and I thugged it out. Besides, it would have took me more effort to get back up than to just slide down the damn slide. All I could think about at this moment is what they gonna tell my mama when they find out I went off the side of a mountain in El Salvador. Now at this point on the slide, I'm gonna be honest, I'm really thinking about what my kids gonna do when they find out their daddy died going off the side of a mountain. You gotta walk all the way back up this goddamn mountain to get back up to the top. Never again, y'all can have it.
Peach cobbler pound cake? This is a peach cobbler pound cake. I don't think y'all are understanding me. This lady just made a peach cobbler pound cake. Now I need it. I now need a peach cobbler pound cake. We've got to find a way to make this happen. Okay.
Welcome to episode 9 of Quickies, a 15-minute satisfying meal series. These are mason jar soups. All you gotta do is add your sauce ingredients to the bottom of your mason jars, followed by your protein of choice to marinate. When you're ready to eat them, allow the jar to cool to room temp, add hot water, and dig on in.
Get ready with me in the back of an Uber for Victoria's Secret. I was just at a Chanel event. Now we're going to Victoria's Secret. I have my whole look here. Not sure how exactly I'm supposed to get changed. I have a whole steamer in here. Wow. So this is for like the premiere of the Victoria's Secret fashion show. So we have this sheer dress. I have no idea how I'm supposed to get this on right now. We've made progress. Now I just need to get this situated. Wow. So here is my dress. These earrings I think are pretty, and plus I have my hair up, so we need to like do a lot over here. I'm so excited for this. Like the Victoria's Secret fashion show has always been my favorite thing growing up, and I'm really excited to see what they're doing with it this year. Also, when I see the models in person, I'm literally gonna drop dead. And I'm doing these for rings. Now it's time for makeup. I'm thinking we need to add a little bit more to the eye. We're spinning. This is actually the craziest thing I've ever done. I'm gonna try and make this eyeshadow look a little bit more dramatic. If you see photos of me from the carpet and you're like, she looks crazy, this is why, okay? Because we're getting ready in the car. Not prepared to be next to Victoria's Secret models right now. Lips, I think we're gonna darken a little bit as well. I definitely need some deodorant right now, but oh well. All right. Bronze everywhere. Just another day. Last step is powder before I put my shoes on, and then we're gonna be ready to go. I brought this just so I can make sure my hair is not having any flyaways. These are the shoes. I'm trying to show the full look, but we're ready to go. Victoria's Secret.
Here's another fun toddler activity. First, you're gonna need a container, and then I got these pumpkins and skulls from the Walmart dollar section, food coloring, squeeze bottle, baking soda, and white vinegar. Next, I'm gonna take the squeeze bottle and pour the white vinegar in it. Then I'm gonna take one of the little pumpkins, and I actually wanted to take off the little handles. I put 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a couple drops of food coloring, then added vinegar, and that's it. We've actually never done a volcano activity like this with my son, so he absolutely loved it. Stay tuned for more toddler activities. Bye!
Glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds in my heart, and I'm ready for love. Let the storm take everyone from the place.
The fishermen come back from the sea. Don't walk away, Moana, stay on the ground now. Our people will need a chief, and there you are. There comes a day when you're gonna look around and realize happiness is where you are.
If you think it's going to cost you too much to get started in growing your own food, think again. Each of these garden beds cost me just $13.50 and an hour of my time. There's 100 different contraptions, fancy garden beds on the market that people will convince you that you need to grow your own food. And it's simply not true. Plants grow in the earth, so use the earth. I've put down some cardboard to suppress the grass, and I'm wheelbarrowing some topsoil from somewhere else on our section to start these beds. I did go to the warehouse and buy 8 bags of compost, and each of these took 3 bags to cover the 4 square meters. It's not fancy, and you'll probably never see it on Pinterest because, well, it's not the most Pinterest-worthy. But I'll tell you what, it grows food all the same, and a lot of it. So if you want to get started, start where you are. Find some dirt and just put in some plants.
sexuality go hand in hand. You ever notice that a lot of witches are like sexually fluid?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a huge amount of spiritualism.
But like two-spirited, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
See, and like, because you asked me to talk about sex magic too, so let's touch a little bit more on that.
Yeah. Let's get to it. First off, what is sex magic?
So, sex magic, one of the biggest energies that you could ever encompass, which we can get on that with, like, what was his name? The one that's married to the Kardashian, well, not married to the Kardashian, he has a baby with the Jenner, Travis Scott, right?
Yes.
He did one of the energy harvesting things. It wasn't sexual, but, you know, he did a ritual where he was harvesting that energy. So, sex magic does a similar energy harvesting as that, but take that up a notch because sex is a portal. Every time you have sex, you're about to orgasm, that's a portal that opens. Okay? So, yes, that's what he was doing. He was harvesting, opening the portal, getting all that energy. When you have sex, it don't matter who you have sex with, you're opening a portal right before you climax.
11 days or 40 years. The choice is yours. So let me give y'all some backstory. The Israelites, who were God's chosen people, they were supposed to go on a journey to the promised land. They were taken from the land of Egypt, where they experienced all types of trials and tribulation. They were broke, busted, and disgusted up in Egypt, okay? But then God said, I'm going to take y'all to a land flowing with milk and honey. The journey's supposed to take y'all 11 days. It took them 40 years to make an 11-day journey. Why, you may ask? Well, put your seatbelt on because I'm getting ready to tell you. But it took them 40 years, not because of the amount of distance between Egypt and Canaan, but it took them 40 years because of the path they chose to take. The mental path they chose to take and the spiritual path they chose to take. Instead of being like, oh, thank you, Lord, for delivering us out of Egypt. We're so ready to get to the promised land. You promised for us. We getting ready to go ahead and walk on in and get our blessing. They chose to complain. They chose to worry, which reflected their lack of trust in God. They chose to disobey. They chose to keep groaning and mumbling in their sin. That's why it took them that long. And every time I remember the story of the Israelites, it just reminds me that whenever we're in a transition season of where God is taking us out of something and is bringing us into something new, that ultimately it's our decision which is going to dictate how long we stay in that wilderness. It can be a season where we're walking through it, where we're walking through the wilderness, or we're wandering. And the reason why it turns into a wandering is because of disobedience and unbelief in God. So that's why I started off this video by saying 11 or 40 years, because we don't understand how much free will God has given us. That there is seasons that God has intended, where in Ecclesiastes it says there's appointed time and season for everything. However, we can't extend a season. We can't extend it because of our attitude. So just like the Israelites, I want to warn y'all, for some of y'all who are in a transition season, stop complaining and allow God to take Egypt out of you, even though you're no longer in Egypt. Allow him to take the Egypt mentality out of you while you're on your way to Canaan. Because just because you took somebody out of Egypt doesn't mean they still don't have the slave mentality. So it takes time. It takes time for God to do the new work. For God whose ways are infinite, whose ways we'll never understand. But what God knows is that the wilderness will teach you something that Canaan never could. That in that middle season, that there's something that God is developing inside of you. He's taking you to have a new level of discipline, a new level of obedience, a new level of trust. That way, when you get to that final destination, you have the character to be able to sustain it.
Let's make our own roasted garlic and herb butter. Get your bubble garlic and take the top off. Then put on some aluminum foil. Then add salt, pepper, smoked paprika, and some olive oil. Then you're going to wrap it nice and tight and put it in the oven on 425 for 1 hour. Then let's get our herbs. I already started some sage, rosemary, and thyme. I took all of them off their stems, and I also added a little bit of parsley as well. Then I chop these up nice and fine, just like me. And you can also put it in a food processor to make it quicker if you want to. But I love my Aisha curry knife. Then to a stand mix, I added 1 quart of heavy cream. And we're going to beat this cream, until it turns to butter. This is a trust the process moment right here. After about a good 15 to 20 minutes, it should look like this. Now reserve that buttermilk at the bottom and put it in a mason jar. And use it for some fried chicken or something, I don't know. Add some water to your butter and press out the remaining buttermilk. Once the water is clear, it's time to beat the butter up. Beat the butter up. Once the butter is smooth and easy to work with, add your roasted garlic. As much herbs as you want. I use about 3 tablespoons. Salt and smoked paprika and blend it one more time. Wrap it in some saran wrap and you got boom. Roasted garlic and herb butter. Alright, back.
Have you guys ever wondered how to make no glue clear slime? Well, I'll show you guys how to make it today. All you guys will need is any type of hand soap. I'm using a soft soap. You guys will need water, a bowler plate to make your slime in. Last but not least is a mixing tool. So this recipe is so easy, I can show it in 2 easy steps. You're just going to add your soap into your bowler plate. Just like that, and I'm going to add a little bit of water. You don't need much, I'm just going to add that much. And now I'm just going to mix it up. Okay, I mixed it up and you can see it's super watery, so I did add a little bit more soap. Now all I'm going to do is put this into the refrigerator for about 2 hours. The fridge, not the freezer. I cannot say that anymore. The freezer will freeze this, so make sure you put it in the fridge. So I'll see you guys in a second after 2 hours. 2 hours later, here it is. And this is how you make no glue clear slime. And this is how you make no glue clear slime.
Is that I think what I find interesting with what you just mentioned is that you brought her into it, although both of you are on the platform, right? So what you just tried to insinuate is that the disrespect is solely for Olivia, which wouldn't make sense because you both are on live. So what I find when I mention the narcissism thing is that you try to convince 12,000 plus people that all the hate is for Olivia because it's a narcissistic tactic. People don't hate Olivia. They don't like you. So instead of you actually acknowledging that they don't like you, you say, whenever somebody asks Olivia, like for instance, what are you doing for your birthday? Have you seen your mother? What are your workout routines? And they come from a genuine place like the woman did last week and she asked about business. You tried to insinuate that she was being rude. You tried to insinuate that she didn't have good intentions, right? So even though she did and she came up and she was very nice, you says, what is the point of these questions? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It's a manipulation tactic, right? Because you want the people to really believe that we all hate Olivia when in reality, you know that's not true. That's why you have to keep bringing up the fact that you guys come up here to hate on her. We love Olivia. By the way, Olivia, your hair looks amazing. Edges are fleeky. Twists look amazing. We don't dislike Olivia. Do we want better for Olivia? Absolutely. Do we think she will be progressive as the years go by? Absolutely. She is going to be phenomenal. But I don't agree with the fact that you just try to twist it that fast in less than 5 minutes to try to insinuate that we come up here to hate on Olivia. That's not true. The reality is, I'm almost done and I'll mute up for you, is that you know that we see her potential and you don't like it. When people ask you business questions, you can't answer them. When people ask about your personal life, you can't answer them. You come up here and talk about your genitals, but somebody asked Olivia, did she like head? And you said it was inappropriate. Also, as a I wouldn't say a big content creator, but as a content creator, you lied on a live the other day and said that people can't talk about alcohol, which is a lie because a lot of people drink on live. You didn't want anybody to really talk about Olivia's plans for her birthday because you're probably going to try to stir her growth, as we've seen. Sean, you could be a great individual, but you're opposed to therapy. What I encourage you to do is go to therapy. And once again, stop trying to convince 13 others. Hold on. I said I was going to mute. Be respectful. As you demand respect, I demand it as well. You need to stop trying to convince everybody and their mama that they don't like Olivia. We don't hate Olivia. Do we wish you would watch her mouth sometimes? Yes, but everybody needs to watch their mouth. We're all growing and learning. But you, my friend, stop trying to convince this young woman that everybody hates her. It's you that we don't like at times. I will say at times. I'm not coming up here to have a hate fest for you. What I am going to say is that your manipulation is getting tired. I really shouldn't even be up here, to be honest, because it's overwhelming at this point how you try to play in this girl's face and act like we all against her. So I hope that you take heed to what I'm saying and actually do something about it. I'll mute up now so you can talk.